Michelle with Country Craft Creations and Creative Operation, and I'm here to share with you the walkthrough and then the tutorial to follow on my little trifold folio that I created. I'm using Cartabella's summer collection, and this collection is absolutely adorable and it's really fun. I love the colors. They're beautiful and it's floral and just all kinds of pretty. So what I did was I created a folio that used the Artisan cardstock that's the white 100-pound cardstock that's new in the store at countrycraftcreations.com. And I created this folio that has a few little elements in it that I think you're going to find kind of fun. What I wanted to do was kind of showcase the 3x4 cut aparts that came in the package. And so that's kind of what this is based off of. The album itself is, I want to say 7.5 tall by 5 inches wide. It has a 1.5 inch spine and lots of fun little features. So let's go ahead and go through it. So I did the cover kind of simply. I really liked the pattern paper that came with this collection that had this flower cart on it. So I embellished that with some flowers from my stash. And then if you see here, the little gems here, those are actually part of the doodads that I got for shakers. I didn't really use a shaker on this particular project, but I did use some of the elements to kind of put a little bling on the front of it. So I thought those were kind of cute. So that's another way that you can use the doodads. There was a ton of those little guys in there. So I just used my art glitter glue and put those on, and it worked really well. I took some of my twine from my stash and I just created a couple little bows to put on the flower pots. And I decided that that was going to be my cover. The cart says fresh flowers. I just think it's really pretty. So as you turn it over, you'll see that the other side of the folio has a 3/4 inch spine. There's a 3/4 inch gusset between the pages. And then on the back here, I'll discuss this in the video during the tutorial, but I kind of made a boo-boo, but this is how I fixed it. I wanted to put the closure under the pattern paper, totally forgot to do it. So I used bits that I had left over and just applied this seam binding to the back and then put those over to secure it. I was supposed to put it under the pattern paper. We'll talk about that in the video. I totally did a goof on that, but I think it still looks really cute and it kind of decorated the back of it as well. So we went with that. So I'm gonna not only teach you how to do things, but how to fix things. That's part of my job. So anyway, it ties with a seam binding closure, and I did a double bow with the two colors that I got in the design team package. Actually, I got 3. I got the blue, the green, and the pink here. The white came from my stash. So let's open it up and see what's inside here. So just a plain simple, closure. I did tie them in a knot together. And when you open it up, this is the first thing you're going to see. So you have a large page pocket here, which I went ahead and put 2 of the 3x4 cut aparts were for journaling. So I put those in there. And then I used in this book, I used some baby blue Artisan cardstock, and then I used the new summer Ivory Artisan cardstock. I thought it was really pretty, and I had some left over, so I went ahead and just cut some tags. I used some stickers from the collection to decorate those, and you can use these for pictures, journaling, whatever you wanted. I used some of the green seam binding to tie bows, and then I added some eyelets in there. So those are going to sit right there, and this pocket can hold quite a bit. And then let's open it up again, and this is what you get when you open up the whole thing. So these mirror each other, and then we have a fun interactive waterfall that I created. So let's start with these. These are called never-ending elements, because what they do, and again, this is because I wanted to showcase the 3x4 cut aparts. They were really, really super cute. So this one here will open like this, and then like that, and then you close it up. It opens like this, and like that. And then it opens like this as well. So you have lots of room to put some 3x4 photos. And then on the smaller pages here, you can either cut your photos down or you can do journaling on those smaller pages. But there's a lot of room here to do that with. And then I used some seam binding from my stash just to tie a bow for a closure. And then above these, I have a little pocket. Now in my design team package, I had the Graphic 45 Artist Trading Card tags, and I wanted to use a couple of those. So on these, I just simply cut a piece of pattern paper and covered the front, so you could journal on the back and put a picture on it, whatever you wanted to do. And then I used some of the seam binding from the design team package to tie the bows. And then those tags will sit here at the top, and then the bows will kind of hang out the top. So I thought that was kind of fun. So that's the same on both sides. So this is, I use obviously a different cut apart, but it's same on the inside. I left it blank to add the photos. And then we have our waterfall. Now this is a stacked waterfall, but it's also an interactive waterfall. So this is the tie for the closure. And again, that was on the back. It was supposed to be under the pattern paper. So just remember this, the tutorial will follow. So when we get to that point, I will put a reminder, but also just remember, if you want this hidden underneath the pattern paper, please do that first and then put your pattern paper on it. Don't do it like I did. But if you want to actually kind of use it as part of a decorative element, which you can do that as well. And that's how I did it for here, because I forgot to put it on. So there you go. So the waterfall is a stacked waterfall. They hold the 3x4 cut aparts as well. And when they open though, they have some interactions. So you have some pages that open this way. And then you have a page that opens like a gatefold. And this one will open again this way. And then I created some pocket pages. So then these were tags that were on the pattern paper. So I just added a little tag into that pocket. Behind here is another pocket. So I used a scrap piece of paper, and I used some stickers to create some tags that go in this pocket. And in here, again, another tag. And on this one, I used one of the 3x4 cut aparts, but I split it in half to cover the page and then cover the pocket. And then we put a little tag in there for that. And then on the back, again, I used a scrap piece of paper. And then I also used, this was a cut apart right here that I just cut out. It says Summer Vibes. And then this was a sticker that I backed on some of the Summer Yellow Artisan cardstock and put in there. And then this page lifts up, it opens up first, and then it lifts up. And then this one is another gatefold. Again, I just split the cut apart and open like that. You could put a 4x6 picture in there if you wanted to. And then this one opens up like this, and then like that. So you have lots of room for pictures, and I was able to kind of showcase the cut aparts here. And I think it worked really well. So that is the folio. So there's lots of room for smaller pictures. This is a smaller folio. I didn't have a lot of, well, I had a paper left over, but then I used some paper. I started working on my third design team project with this already. So I didn't have a lot, I don't have a lot left over. I'll show you how much I have left over. The next project, the third project using this paper is coming up really soon, but like this is what I have left over. So I really kind of went through the paper like crazy and really utilized it. So anyway, this is my project, and again, it folds like that, and then it folds like that, and then it ties into a pretty bow here, and it'll be kind of a fluffy bow. So there it is. So just stay tuned. The tutorial is next. All right, well, let's get started with this tutorial. It's going to be a fairly quick and easy one. I think you're going to like it. So let's get started. So the first thing, let me get my pieces ready. So the first thing we're going to need to do is make our folio. And you're going to need a couple pieces of paper. So you're going to need to have piece A that's 9.5 by 7.5. You will need piece B that's 9.5 by 5. And then you will need piece C that's 9.5 by 6 3/4. Okay, so let's do a little bit of scoring. Get our scoreboard out and get our scoring tool here. So folio piece A, which is 9.5 by 7.5, we're going to put it in our scoreboard, and we're going to score it at 1/2 and 5.5 and 7. Okay, so 1/2, 5.5, and 7. And then we're going to turn it so that the 9.5-inch side is on the top, and then we're going to score at half and at 9. All right, that's all we're going to have to do for that. Then what we're going to do, let's go ahead and score the other pieces while we have our board. So we have folio piece B, which is 9.5 by 5, and you're going to put it in your scoreboard with the 9.5 at the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 and at 9. Then you're going to have piece C, 9.5 by 6 3/4. Okay, and we're going to do that. Let me do it this way just so we kind of keep it the same way that we've been doing it. So we're going to score it at 1/2 and 5.5, 6 1/4. Okay, so 1/2, 5.5, 6 1/4. And then you'll turn it again so that the 9.5 is on the top here. And you're going to score at 1/2 and at 9. Okay, that's all there is to that. So let's get this out of the way. And then grab your pieces and grab your scissors. And we're going to do a little bit of cutting. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to end up trimming this piece and all of these 1/2-inch tabs. Some of them will be attachments, but others will be reinforcements, because this is a folio and I'm only using cardstock for the base. The cardstock that I'm using is the 100-pound Artisan cardstock that is at Country Craft Creations. It's a newer one. I am really loving this for structure pieces, so like folios without chipboard, boxes, things like that. It is a little bit sturdier than the 87-pound Artisan cardstock, and it's working really nice, so I'm really enjoying using it. Okay, so what we're going to do is for piece A, so down here, if you have your, well, let's see, let's show you this way. Let's just go ahead and do some burnishing here so that we can see what we're doing here. Let's go ahead and fold and burnish. This might make it a little bit easier to see. And just fold and burnish all your lines. Okay, so let's open it up. Okay, so this will be the inside. So all of these pieces, this is going to be a spine piece right here. This will be the attachment that will attach it to folio piece B. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is going to be a tab for attachment. So we're going to just go ahead and miter that little square out like that on both ends. Okay, so you're going to have like that. And then we're going to make tabs all across the bottom and the top. Now, over in the corners here on the side, I'm just going to cut straight through, and it's usually easier for me to do it on the right side, but just cut this whole 45 degrees off. That way, when you fold it over, it'll help take some of the bulk out, because this is going to fold over before we put pattern paper on and give this not only a finished edge, but also a little bit more reinforcement on the side. Okay, so again, I'm gonna just cut right across at a 45-degree angle there. And then I'm just gonna miter the rest of these as I normally would if I was to create a tab. Some of these are gonna just fold right to the inside, and we're going to glue them down. Come on now. So that'll give it a little reinforcement. Okay, so that piece is prepared. You can see how that looks. So we made tabs that are going to fold down, and these are going to reinforce. These will reinforce, help reinforce the spine. And then this piece right here will attach it to the next piece. Okay, so let's put this off to the side. We'll get this piece here. So folio piece B is 9.5 by 5. We scored it at 1/2 inch on each of the ends, and we're just going to go ahead and miter the corners. Those are the only two scores that you have on this piece. And fold and burnish. Those tabs will fold and get glued down so that it'll reinforce those edges. Okay, so that's all you need to do for folio piece B. And then folio piece C, we're going to do the same exact thing that we did earlier. Okay, so It'll actually look like this from the inside. So you're going to have a 3/4 inch spine here. You're going to have a 1/2 inch spine that will attach it to piece B. And then this 1/2 inch tab way over here on the other side, that's just going to fold and get glued down so that it'll help reinforce. Okay, so on the side that just has the one score down the side, you're just going to cut those at a 45-degree angle. All right, and then we're going to create tabs everywhere else, just like we did before. Okay, so we'll cut that corner out and create our tabs. We're going to do the same thing at the top. And these will all get covered with pattern paper, so that's also going to help reinforce everything and make it really nice and sturdy. Okay. Okay, so we have that, and then let's fold and burnish. And then what I think we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and glue down all the tabs that are going to be the reinforcements and get those out of the way, and then leave the tabs that are going to be for the construction open, so then you can see what that's going to look like. Okay, this is going to be a cute little folio, and I really designed it because I wanted to use the really cute 3x4 cut-aparts that came with this paper collection. They were just super cute, so I really wanted to use those. So let's grab our glue, and hopefully it'll work. So here you have the spine piece. This is a 3/4 inch spine, and then this is the tab that'll attach it to the next piece. So we're going to leave those alone. But we are going to glue this down. So you can see that that's going to help strengthen the edges of that spine, and then also because of the fold over, it will help kind of finish the piece on the edges. It will be a folded edge instead of a cut edge. So that'll be kind of a nice thing. All right, and again for here. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So I've done this before in some of my other projects, and it works really nice to finish edges. I don't always do it, but I wanted to for this one. All right. There we go. Make sure that's nice and glued down. And this is why you want to take kind of a 45-degree angle so that these don't overlap each other here at the corners, and it helps with the bulk. Okay. All right. So now you have, this is piece C. So this is the right-hand side of the folio, and that's the way it needs to look. This is the inside, so it'll look, you know, like that on the outside. So let's put that aside. This is going to attach to here, okay? So, but first we're going to just fold these tabs down, and we're just going to glue them down and reinforce the back of our folio. This will end up being kind of the centerpiece or the back of our folio, like so. All right. Get that nice and adhered down. Okay, so there's that piece. And then our last piece, this is going to go like this. This is the 1.5 inch spine. So we're going to just glue all the pieces down just like we did. Okay. Like that. I'm using Art Glitter Glue, also from Country Craft Creations. And again, this is the Artisan 100-pound white Artisan cardstock. And, you know, it's new, and I am loving it. I am absolutely loving it. It's really, really nice when you want to have a little bit more strength in your project. So one little hint with it, I have slipped a couple times when I'm scoring it on my scoreboard. You do have to press a little bit harder Not much, but just a little bit, just to make sure you stay in the track. But other than that, this is amazing, amazing cardstock. I am really loving it. And I don't know, I should ask if we're going to get some black. I would love to get some black 100-pound too. So I hope it's coming. I should ask. Okay. All right. So we have our pieces made. So here's piece A, and then piece B, piece C. Then we're just going to glue them together. So you can glue them to the front or the back, however you want it. I'm going to glue it so that the tabs are to the inside. So I'm doing it from, you know, the outside. I'm laying it kind of face up here. Put some glue on the tab. So I'm going to glue here piece A to piece B, and I'm going to not go in the score, just right to the edge of that score. Okay. Just like that. Okay. There we go. And then we'll do that again on this side, gluing piece C to B. Like that. And again, make sure you don't go to the score. Or you go to the score, don't go in the score. All right. So then once that's done, then this will just fold over like that and like that. And that'll be your folio, okay? So you'll have a 3/4 inch gusset between your 3 pages, all right? Just like that. Okay, so then let's go ahead and take these stickers off, and then let's put our papers on and get our closures on. So I'm gonna do a double closure, and I'm gonna grab my centering ruler. And when I say double closure, what I'm meaning is the seam binding. I'm going to use two pieces of seam binding, 2 different colors. I got those in the design team package. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I've already got them pre-cut. They are about 1 foot each. If I can get the score tape off. And I'm just lining it up right in the middle. This is our closure for our folio. Okay, so we'll do it on the front here, like that. 1 more piece of score tape, just layering those down. Like so. Okay. Then, so now you have to put the other ribbon on the middle part. You can't put it on this inside flapper. It's not going to work, okay? So you want to put it on the back side of your folder. So I'm just going to kind of lay that flat, and then I'm going to just eyeball it for the score tape. And I'm going to put that on the back side of my folio. And just kind of line it up and put it down. And that's all you got to do. I like it when I can kind of measure once and then just kind of match it. So there you go. Okay. So then layer this guy on top, and there's our closure. Whoops. Maybe a little too much. Let's do like that. There we go. Okay, so there's our closure. Then you can go ahead and open it up, and then we can put our pattern papers on. So now, I really liked, there was a paper in the collection that had this image on it. So I wanted that for the front cover. And then for the back cover, we're going to do that. And then we have our spine pieces that I've already pre-cut. So we can go ahead and glue those down. And then that will finish everything. I'm not inking my papers because of the white. I just didn't want it too grungy. I wanted it more clean. So I'm just going to add my pattern papers here. So now this folio is 5 inches by, was it 7.5? So it's a pretty good size folio. And again, I built it this size because I was really wanting to showcase the cut aparts. That was the whole purpose of this. So it's going to be a fun little album. You can put lots of little pictures in it. And we're going to make a really cool waterfall I think you're going to like. Okay. Just like that. All right, so there's the front and the back of the album. Because this panel here is going to fold to the inside. So I have other plans for that. All right. There we go. Let's get the spine on. All right. Isn't this paper just gorgeous? I love this paper. It is so pretty, and I've been leaning towards the kind of the blues in it, I think. It's just been really super pretty. I love it. Just love it. Oh, this will be on the inside. Right here. Okay. So again, there will be 3/4 inch gussets, which is nice. A little bit bigger than the 1/2 inch, but that'll leave you a lot of room for embellishing. You can do all kinds of really nice little thick things. So I'm just covering the spines here. So this is a, this one here is 3/4 inches, and this is 1.5 inches. Okay, let's get this one back here. And then that part is done, and then we can start working on the other pieces. So this is gonna be really fun. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, spine's done. Okay, so when we wrap this book up right now, here's what we've got. Super, super cute. Okay, so what shall we do next? Let me get my papers ready here. So this is going to go on the inside pocket here. Ooh, and I think I cut it. I did. I cut it too wide. Okay, well, let's make sure that part's too wide, but the pocket, did I do that correctly? Let me double check. Yep, I did. Okay, so I'm going to need to remeasure this real quick. So this pocket, this is going to go, when you open up your book, this will go right here. So, yeah, that's correct. Yes, yes. Okay, so this is going to go on here. This is 5 inches wide. All right, so I needed to cut that. Yeah, the height's right. So let me trim it real quick to 4 7/8. There we go. Ha! That's more better. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cover that. That's the first thing we're going to need to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And this page has a large pocket on it with tags. And the big gusset will allow for, you know, lots of ribbons and things like that. Okay, so cover it with pattern paper first. Then what you're going to do, grab your scoreboard. The large pocket is 5.5 by 3.5. And then we'll grab our tool here and we're going to score it for a pocket. So you're going to score at 1/2 and at 5, and then turn it and then score it. I'm scoring it at 3, but you can turn it and score it at the 1/2 inch mark, however you want it. But it's 1/2 inch on the 2 short sides and 1 long side for your large pocket. And then we'll go ahead and miter our corners. And then I'm going to go the 45-degree angle again because I want to eliminate bulk. And then what we're going to do is, I should mention that for this pocket, I am using some of the baby blue Artisan cardstock. So I did raid my stash for that. And I'm also going to be using some of the summer ivory that I thought absolutely looked adorable with this paper. Okay, so here is our pocket. So our finished pocket size will be 4.5 by 3. So then I cut a piece of pattern paper that is going to go over top. Cute stamp paper, isn't that adorable? So we're going to go ahead and do that. I got all my pieces ready here. So all my papers I cut 1/8 inch shorter and you know, less wide than the piece that it's covering. That's how I've been doing it for the most part lately. Okay. So make sure that's stuck down really nicely. There we go. There we go. Okay, so there's our pocket. Now our pocket will sit just right on top. Okay, so this is why I didn't put the pocket on first. You need to put the pocket on after because you're going to have some of the pattern paper showing. Okay, about 1/4 inch or so. That's going to be showing. Now, oh, and here's the other thing we're going to do too. So let's do that next. Let's do this first. Glue your bottom. Oop, I hear my doggy running around. Might have to stop for a second and go see what's going on. All right, so about 1/4 inch, and we're going to glue the bottom part, that bottom tab down only. Okay, make sure that's nice and glued. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tape trick. And forgive me, I don't know who started this trick, but I've seen other designers do this, and it actually works really, really well. So I'm going to grab my tape, and I'm going to put it right over the edge of that tab so that when you put your tags in, it won't catch on that tab since it's sitting on top of your pattern paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue. Seems like the sides don't matter so much, but the bottom does get caught up. All right, so then I'm going to just fold that up and burnish that down. And then there's our big pocket on that flap. Okay, just like that. So then out of the cut-aparts, I got these 2 journaling cards that were super cute. My favorite Summer Memory and Summer Bucket List. So I thought those would be really adorable in the pocket. And then I took a couple pieces of scrap Summer Ivory for Artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations with some of the green seam binding that came in the design team package. And I just punched a hole and set an eyelet and then tied a bow. And then I made a couple of tags. So you could use those again for additional journaling, or you could put pictures on there. But that is the pocket page that goes on the inside. So when you open up your little folio, that's what you're going to see. All right, so I'm going to stop here real quick and see what's going on with my doggies. I'll be right back. All right, let's get started with the next piece. Okay, so let's work on these 2 flaps here for the inside. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a little pocket, and we're going to be doing a little never-ending folio kind of thing, which is really fun to do. So let's go through that. So you will need a couple pieces of seam binding that I cut, I want to say about 16 inches long, roughly. Or no, excuse me, 18 inches long a piece. So I need 2 of those. You'll need 2 of those. And then you will need, for the Never Ending Minis, you will need 4 pieces that are 4 by 6. And of course our pattern paper to cover our pages, which I have already cut. And again, I am like digging the blues here, so we're going to go with that. And we need a couple cut-aparts, so 1 for each of the Never Ending Minis that are going to come on. And then you will also need 4 strips that are of pattern paper that are, let's see here. Get my ruler the right way the first time. never do it. They are 3 7/8 by 3/8. All right. So with the 4 pieces that are 4 by 6, you're going to get your scoreboard, and 4 of them, okay, you're going to put in your scoreboard at 6 with a 6 at the top, and you're going to score at 3. So you're going to do that to 4 of these. All right. So I've already kind of pre-done that. And then also for the other 2, you're going to put it in your scoreboard with the 6 at the top, and you're going to score in 3 places this time. You're going to score at 2.5, at 3, and at 3.5. All right. So you're going to need 2 of the 1 scored piece, 2 of those, and 1 of the one with 3 scores for each set. So we're going to put this one to the side. We're going to work on this one first. Okay. First thing we're going to do is put our pattern paper down, because everything sits on top of this. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue my pattern paper down. Get it to where I can see. Okay. Like so. Okay. Then what we're going to do, I'm going to put this to the side, is we're going to take our little pieces of paper, and what we're going to do, the ones that are scored just the one time, we're going to fold and burnish. Just simply in half. And then the other one, we're going to fold in half, just like we did, but then on the other score lines, we're just going to fold it again, the opposite direction, and burnish. And what it's going to do is it's going to kind of create almost like a W shape, like this. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper, and I'm just checking something, and you're going to put this piece like that, and you're going to put these 2 pieces like this. You're going to glue, you're going to glue these 2 pieces in to this. And then it's going to close like so. And then what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with a page that opens like this. And then it'll be adhered right here, and it'll open like that. And then that closes. Then you turn it over, and it opens like this and like this. Then it closes, and then you'll have a piece that will open like this. Now, one of the pieces will be glued down. You'll see it in a second, but this is what you're going to end up doing. So what I usually do is I line up my pieces like this. I've done this several times. Now, you're not going to want to glue these 2 pieces here together. You're going to glue the inside here to the inside of this W. Okay, does that make sense? I hope I can show you that. Okay, so you're going to put them together like this, and you're going to put glue on the W pieces here, and you're going to glue to the outside of those pages. You're not going to glue the inside of those pages. So I'm just going to put that there. I'm going to line them up, and I usually find it easier to line them up just like this and glue that down like so. And then see how it opens up completely this way. Okay. So that is what I call a never-ending book. Now, I've done these as a standalone album in bigger sizes, and it works out really good because it just kind of keeps going and going and going, and it just kind of never stops, okay? But when you put them in a book, then it looks really cool too. So I'm going to take my cut apart, which I do need to trim down a little bit. So this is 3 by 4, so I'll need to cut this down just a little bit, and I should have done that beforehand, and I apologize for not doing that. I was trying to get this done. It's been a heck of a week in my house, that's for sure. I've got a pretty sick little doggy, and he's been in the ICU. He is better now, though. We got him home, and he's doing much, 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 much better. So, yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So, I've been really preoccupied with him. So just glue this on to the front so that it opens up like that. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 of these little strips, and on those little 1/2-inch pieces that we have a score on, we're just going to go ahead and decorate that. And then you can put your pictures, you can cut your pictures to fit inside of these. And on the shorter pages, you could put a picture, but you could also use those for journaling as well. So however you want to do it. I think it would be really cute to get a lined paper and put on the shorter pages, or the less wide pages. And, you know, do a journaling spot on that. Okay, so just like that. So there's our book. Okay, so again, it looks like this from the top. Okay, these little half tab wings are out there. They fold to the inside, and then it goes like that. And then we're going to turn it over. We're going to grab our score tape, wherever I put that, and right through the middle here, we're going to put a line of score tape to attach, excuse me, attach our ribbon, or seam binding, I should say. The white seam binding is from my stash. I did not get that in the design team package, but this is also by Country Craft Creations, and I thought it was pretty. I've been using seam binding in my other project, and I didn't have a lot left over, so I ended up raiding my stash. Okay, so then we're going to grab this guy, and about a ½ inch from the bottom, we're going to just go ahead and put that up and then center it and glue it down, just like that. So I'm going to get my glue. And then this process will be repeated for the other side. So I won't do it on camera for the other side, but we're going to do the exact same thing on the other one. So if you want to get really technical here, let's do this, because that's always awesome to make sure it's really lined up. So then I'm just going to lay this down, line it up, and then glue that down. Isn't that pretty? It's very cute. So then I'm going to just carefully open it up, make sure it's stuck. And then I'm just going to leave those blank because I want pictures in there. And then you're just going to go ahead and tie this shut with a pretty little bow. There we go. And then I'm going to trim these off just a little bit. I always like to cut them a little bit long, because then that way I don't get caught having them too short. All right, so you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so here's our paper we're going to lay down. Here's our pieces for our book. Here's our cut apart that we're going to use. And then here's our tie. Okay, so then you're going to have a pocket up here. So let's get the pieces for that. It's a quick little album to put together. So you will need to make 2 pockets, and I'm calling them the inside pockets, and those will just sit right at the top. And again, I'm using the Summer Ivory. It's really pretty. So 2 at 2.5 by 5, and you're going to score them at ½ inch on the short sides and ½ inch on one of the bottom side, or one of the long sides. Okay, and then you're going to cut and miter like we always do. And then I've got a piece of paper here to cover for each side. Okay, so we'll go ahead and fold and burnish. Like that. And then we're going to do the same process that we did before on our pocket. We're going to do the same process with this. We're going to glue it right here. And then what I did was I created some tags with these Graphic 45 artist trading card tags that I got in the design team package. I had some scraps of paper, so I took 2 each. So one for this side, one for this side. And I used scraps just to cover them. And I just did a basic square. So these tags themselves measure 2.5 by, I want to say 2 3/4. No, 3.5. Wow, I was off on that. So 2.5 by 3.5. And then I cut the paper at 2 3/8 by 2 3/4, and just covered the front, so you could do journaling on the back. And then this seam binding did come in the design team package, so I had enough to do the little bows. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue that down. And then I glued it down about a ½ inch above this little book. So I'm going to do this, put the glue on the bottom tab, and then I'm going to line this up. And I apologize in advance for my head getting in the way here. And I'm just going to line that up right down the center here. And then open that up, grab my tape, I'm gonna help the tags not stick. Then we'll glue the sides. Okay, and then grab our pattern paper that we're going to cover that with. All right, there we go. Cute little pocket. Okay, so each side will have one of these, and then you can put your little tags in there, and they'll kind of stick up the top a little bit, and it'd be really, really super cute. So we're going to do this whole thing on this other side. I will do that off camera, and you'll see that in the walkthrough video. Okay, so each side, this side and this side, will have this setup. Now let's work on the middle setup, because this is the fun setup with the fun waterfall that we're going to make. So let's get going with that. So we're going to need a few pieces of paper. You're going to need a quite a few of your cut aparts. I think I did 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 of them. And you will need, for the inside, you know, kind of the 1/2-inch hinge pieces, you'll need a bunch of these. And I never get my ruler the same way. So 2 7/8 by 3/8. And you will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. Here is your piece to cover inside, so you can see when you look at the page, it's going to be symmetrical, so the blue check will be over here and then the pink polka dots I used on that side. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. And you can vary this as much as you want. Okay. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to need to do, is glue that down, because the waterfalls will sit right on top of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this to the side, and we're going to have our waterfall pages. So we're going to go ahead and you need 4 pieces of paper. So you'll need a 6 by 11.5, a 6 by 10.5, 6 by 9.5, a 6 by 8.5. All right. And these are going to have some fun interactions. So let's go through these. Let me get my notes together here real quick, and we will get that going. And you know what? All right, guys, so you know what? I just realized something. So let's backtrack just a little bit. Before we put on our pattern paper, and I'm going to put a little note in the video, so before you sit this down, you're going to need to do something. So we needed to put ribbon here that will actually wrap around, and let me show you, I'll show you on my prototype project. So I did a ribbon closure for the album, and what I did was, before I put the pattern paper down, I put the ribbon on the very back center panel, and it wrapped around the top. Okay, you see, like that, and it wrapped around the bottom like that. So then it came around and it closed and it did the waterfall, and I failed to do that with my piece here. So I'm going to figure out another way to do this, and I've got an idea, and I think I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'll show you how to do a workaround to fix that, so that you have your closure for your waterfall. Okay, but we're still gonna be able to stick it on the back, so I got an idea. So we're gonna do that, but first let's make the waterfalls. Okay, so let me get my notes. So the waterfalls, let's start with the biggest page first. So this is the 11 by 6. Now you're gonna take this page 11.5 by 6, excuse me. 11.5 by 6. We're going to stick it in the scoreboard. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Too many things in my brain. Okay, 11.5 by 6. We're going to put it in the scoreboard, and on the 6-inch side, you're going to score right down the center at 3. And then you're going to turn it, and you're going to score it at 4 and at 7.5. Okay? So score it on the 6 at 3, score it on the 11.5, okay, at 4 and 7.5. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our scissors, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut out. I'm going to turn it so that the scores are going the proper way. Let's go ahead and burnish it first. Let's do that, because this will make more sense if I do that. So let's burnish. Okay, and again, this is with the summer yellow. Okay, so we're looking at the inside here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this square out. And I'm going to go just right outside of the score line because I want that gone. Okay, and that will also help your pages turn just a little bit easier. Okay. So cut that score line completely out. Okay, so you should have a piece that looks like that. So what this is going to do, this is a stacked waterfall like I've done before, okay? And usually it looks something like this, where you have your pages, and then we go ahead and stack the rest of the pages in the spine piece here in the middle. But what we've done is we've created a flat page, so we can have more pictures in our waterfall. So we're going to do that with the first one. Okay, so this is the longest one, the 6 by 11.5, and we're going to put that to the side. We're going to take the next piece here. This is the 10.5 by 6. All right, and what we're going to do on this one is we're going to score it on the 6-inch side at 1.5 and at 4.5. And then you're going to turn, and you're going to score at 4 inches on each end, okay? And you could do that on the other one too. So 4 inches on each end. That's what you're going to do, if that makes it simpler, okay? So this one, score it at 4 on the 11.5 inch, and then turn it and then score it at 4. That makes it a lot easier to deal with. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to fold and burnish. All of our score lines here. Okay, so now we're looking at the inside. We're going to take out these 2 side pieces in the middle here. Okay, so we're going to just do like I did again, the other time. We're going to go right outside the score lines. And then the other thing you can do to make sure that you get it even is you can fold this up and then go right up and then fold that up, and then you're real flush with the fold of your fold there. Okay, that's the other thing you can do, however it works for you. Sometimes it's easier, and this one feels a little bit wonky just because it's so long, but if it works, it works. Okay, I'm going to fold that over, and then I'm just going to trim that. Right to the page. Okay, so you can see now what I've done is I've created a gatefold piece. And this one is going to sit in the middle here. Okay, so we're going to have a waterfall that's going to have a lot of interaction is what we're making. The next piece here is the 9.5 by 6. And we're going to score it 3 on the 6-inch side. We're going to turn it, and we're going to score it 4 inches on each end. Okay, so 4 inches on each end. Turn it 4 inches. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold and burnish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut another piece out of the middle. like we did before, but this time what we're going to do is we're going to have the pages open to the opposite side. That's it. Little bit of variety with the same type of score. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to fold those over, and I'm going to whack that off even with the folds. And then this one is going to open the opposite direction, okay? And that will sit there next. And then the last one, we're going to score again like we did the second one. So this one is 8.5 by 6. We're going to score at 1.5 and 4.5, and then 4 inches on each of the long ends, okay? So 4 inches here, and then 4 inches here, okay? So then I'm going to get rid of this now, and I'm going to get rid of this because it's in my way, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut the middle outside pieces out. Do it on this side. Sometimes it's easier for me to cut the scores out if I'm on the wrong side because I can kind of see them better. Oh, you know what? I should fold and burnish first. Told you guys, I got a lot on my brain. Work has been fun. And my poor little doggy. And yeah. All right, here we go. He's doing better though. He is doing better. And that's all I care about. Okay, so again, I'm going to snip that off even. And then cut this one out. This one's going to be a little bit different. This one, what we're going to do, cut that off, get rid of these. We're going to make pockets on this one. So it doesn't matter which way you want to do it, but fold one to one side, fold one to the other side. Okay. So you can do them opposite this way. And then we're going to glue them down and make pockets so you can stick little tags inside. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the only one of these that you'll need to like actually glue down. And I am not going to, I'm going to go back with the, maybe with the few scraps that I have. I did already start working on number 3, the project number 3, and I had 2 full pages left over and some scraps. And I came up with the coolest little project I think you're going to like. So I don't have a whole lot of scraps left. So what I might do with this here is either use like, I do have some leftover stickers that I could use to decorate it, or I could just get some more like baby blue Artisan cardstock and put a strip of that on there. So I will figure something out. I haven't quite figured part of that out yet, but I will. Okay, so grab your pieces. So we've got all of our parts here, and grab your scoreboard, and we're going to glue them down. So we're going to start with the biggest one. And the biggest one, we're going to want to have it so that it's opening to the left. So I'm going to put that in my scoreboard. And I'm going to grab the next piece, which is our gatefold piece. And again, you can have the gatefolds going either direction you want. It doesn't really matter. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue this down. And these have a 1/2 inch gusset. So you've seen me do this before. So I'm just going to line this up. The bottom of this page is 4 inches. Okay, so we're going to line it up at 4.5. And glue that down. Okay, just like that. And we're using our scoreboard edges to kind of help make sure everything stays lined up nice and straight. And I'm just going to open that up. So then we're going to grab our next layer. Now this layer, I want the pages to go the opposite direction. So I'm going to make sure that's happening. And what is going on here? I don't like that. That corner did not get quite square. There we go. Okay. Make sure our pages are going the correct direction that we want it to. And grab our glue. And we should always make sure our glue bottle is full during a tutorial, but I didn't do that either. Yikes. Trying to get everything done when I have a second to do it. Okay, there we go. All right. Put that down. Okay. Cute, huh? I think it is. I did one kind of similar to this, called it a waterfall on steroids. It's kind of fun, a little bit different. Okay, and so then we have our little pocket page. So we're going to have just the 1/2 inch here, and we're going to put a little glue on there. Okay. And then again, I'm just lining it up at that 1/2 inch mark. So we have an interactive waterfall, which is kind of cool. So here's the center, all right? And then there's our pages. So this will fold down and we'll go through the waterfall, but here's your waterfall. So when it has a blank page at the front, and we'll use, that's what we're using our cards for, is we're going to use those to decorate the front pages of all of these. So we're going to have it open up like this, and then you'll have a page, and then it'll have a cut apart here, and then you'll open it up, and then you have a page, and then another cut apart, you open it up, have a page. Here's a pocket page, pocket page, pocket page, pocket page. Little flap. You see how this is going. So this is kind of a cool thing to do. And on these, on the gatefolds, you could put a full picture in there. If you just slice it down the picture, you know, you can patchwork a picture in here and have a full 4x6 picture in there if you wanted to. So that's my idea for this waterfall. All right. So then to put it in the book, we're just going to close it up here like so. And this center square here, we'll put our glue, and then we're going to just line it up in the middle of our album. So let's get this out of the way, and let's get our glue. And then I will go ahead and decorate this later. But I did use it just for, you know, I designed it for the cut aparts. So I'm just going to eyeball this right in the middle here. Okay. I'm going to just carefully move those pages and glue those down. And there you have it. So you have your waterfall on your book. And then we're going to do a closure, and it's going to wrap around from the back. Okay, and then we're going to use these little strips here. We'll go in here, okay? And then our cut aparts that I have ready to go will go on top like that. Okay, and they're adorable cut aparts, so that's why I wanted to use them. Okay, so let's talk about, that's pretty much the structure of the book. So let's talk about how I'm going to fix my little boo-boo back here. So let me look at my scraps. Hang on, and I will be right back. All right, so we talked about how I did a boo-boo, and I was actually supposed to put a ribbon coming out of the bottom and a ribbon coming out of the top on the back of the album, on the outside of the album, okay? So that way they would wrap around and close this from the outside. And I didn't do that. So then I had to figure out, because you need to do that before you put on the pattern paper. But here is a way that we can fix the little boo-boo and still have kind of the concept that I wanted. So I did have this little 2x2 cut apart that was left over in my scraps, and I had a small piece of the green coordinating cardstock here. So I decided to back that. So what we're going to do is I grabbed some seam binding here from my stash, and I'm going to put this down the middle and attach it with that, and it will wrap around and tie on the inside. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably just eyeball it. Where is my score tape? Okay, here we go. I love it when I mess up on camera. It's awesome, isn't it? So much fun. Okay, so I'm going to turn this sideways because I think I'll be able to see it better sideways. And it's 5 inches. So we're going to go in. We're going to go in roughly, let's see, there. And then, so I'm looking for my middle point here. And I'm kind of eyeballing it between the midpoint of my ruler and my tie that I've already got there. Okay. And I'm just going to grab the, I just took a huge chunk of seam binding from my stash. So I don't even know how long it is. And I'm just going to kind of adhere that down so it stays. Good gravy. I love it when I mess up on camera. Okay, and this is going to glue just right on top of that and help secure it, okay, from the back side. So we're just going to grab our glue. And so I guess this is part of my job too, is to show you how to fix a boo-boo, because heaven knows I make them. And this is how you can fix that. So this adds just a little decorative element to the back as well. So that's kind of cool. And then when you flip this over, what this is going to do is tie in the front in a nice pretty bow. And then that will keep all of that closed. All right. So there you go. That's how you fix that. So if you want to do it this way, intentionally, by all means do, because it actually turned out kind of cute. But then your album will fold and like that and like that. I do have some decoration to do, and I will finish the other pages. But this is essentially, this is the tutorial. We're just going to, that's it. So this turned out super cute, I think. You're gonna have the little tags with the bows hanging out the top. The back side here will be really cute. We fixed the closure, so that's good. I love this image with the flower card. It's so pretty. So here's our album. So then when you open it up, it will untie. You've got lots of room for pictures and things, so you'll untie it. This is what you'll see when you first open it up. So you've got your big pocket, and you've got some tags that we created, some cut aparts for journaling, and then we'll have the pocket here with some of the graphic 45 tags for pictures and journaling. And then you'll have your never-ending book. So it opens up like this, and then it will go like that. And then you turn the page, and then it will open up again like that. But then it also opens up like that. And this will tie with a pretty bow. Then this will be on the other side too. So when you open up your folio, it will be on this side as well. So you'll have another one and another pocket with some more tags. And then you'll have your waterfall that's very interactive. So it will close like that. And then you will have your waterfall with your pages. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please forgive me for being a little discombobulated. I hope this made sense. It's a really simple little tutorial, and it's really fun. And I think when I get all the pattern papers on it, it's going to look really, really cute. So this is a design team project for Country Craft Creations. You can go to Country Craft Creations at countrycraftcreations.com. You can get this collection, which is Cartabella Summer, and get your Artisan cardstock. And again, I used the white 100-pound for the structure of it. And then on the inside, I used baby blue and summer ivory pieces. And the seam binding is all from Country Craft Creations as well. The graphic 45 tags were from Country Craft Creations. They were in my design team project. And then I just used some scraps of paper and some of my own eyelets and things to make the other tags. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward little album, but it really is cute. And I think you're going to like it. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.